That's complex question, because to know who you are, first you have to know yourself, and I don't think I know myself yet, because I think in every human being there's so many personalities and so many different individuals living in our life, and we are full of contradictions, but we don't like to accept them, and we don't like to show them to other people. But in my case, I'm showing my contradictions, and I'm showing things I'm ashamed of, and I'm showing all aspects of my life, and I'm always sharing this with my audience. But I still didn't discover all the Marinas I have, because you have to put yourself in different situations to see how you react. It's very important in your lifetime to explore as much of yourself as you can. When you're normal and in a situation of home with your friends, you don't act like in the performance, because the moment when you step in the performance in the front of the public, you completely change. You take another type of energy. I call this universal energy, who goes through you, and then you also take energy of the public inside of you, and then you can do much more than you can do in normal life. I have ideas that are still going to make my performances, because I always have ideas to perform, and I like to perform, to experience. But I also have these other ideas that in order to public to understand what I'm doing, they have to actually have their own experience. So I create the tools which I give to the public to do this, and to then in one point we're going to meet, and we will be equal. I will perform for them, but they will know what that means in a very different way, because they experience themselves. So this is what is happening now. So when I say the public it's my work, right now it's very much my work. Performance art is something which happens in real time, in real space, and is without repetition, and is without playing somebody else. I always say the difference between theater and art is the art in theater and performance. In performance, you are in the audience, and everything is real. Blood is real, and pain is real. You're not acting. In theater, you're acting, and often the blood is ketchup, and a knife is not real knife. So the reality of performance is different than in theater. It's not that I decided to change. I really believed in the beginning that I was a painter, and I was painting, and I had my first exhibition when I was 14 years old, and I was very happy with the painting. But the moment when I really started using my own body, the experience was so profound and so strong. I was like full of electricity. It was much more exciting than going to the studio and paint the paintings. I was not interested anymore. And I didn't want to do something two-dimensional when I have this whole range of possibilities. I can use fire, water, earth, land, the body, the other people's body. I was, just the idea of freedom, that artists can use whatever he wants to make art. It was like intoxicating. Makes me so happy to perform. That's very important. No, it was not right away. In the beginning, it was unknown country to me. It was different language. I felt like I'm on an expedition, like I'm an explorer, going to the unknown continent and see what happened. So I start, I went to Amazon. I been bitten by mosquitoes so badly. I have to deal with some problems with my stomach. It was all adapting, and then slowly exploring. And then I was very impressed how south of Brazil is completely different than north, east, west. How the music changed, how the people, food changed, how rituals change. Everything is so interesting. So I find Brazil is a continent to explore. And then every time I went deeper and deeper and deeper. I'm a spiritual woman. I'm not religious. And I was been very much interested in Tibetan Buddhism, and I follow Tibetan Buddhism. But Tibetan Buddhism is mostly like a science of the mind, and philosophy, than really religion in the sense of the Catholicism or other religions. And I could not find the healing through the Tibetan Buddhism. I could not find, I was so in pain, and I could not find anywhere to be healed. So when I actually come here to look for for the shamanism, I found there is a system that I can heal myself. There is old knowledge that you can really actually benefit from, which is forgotten, but still exists here and very much alive. No, it's less and less because, first she's dead and I'm old, much older now since I was a child. But just the fact that she never gave me love and she never kissed me when I was a child and she was so strict with me and really creating kind of military control really damaged me emotionally. And then especially in my relationships later on with the man, I always want for a relationship everything. I want also the love that I didn't get from my mother, but was not responsibility of anybody else. So it was like too much, it's so difficult. And it took me a long time to understand what my mother was doing. And only when she died, when I found her letters and her diaries, I understood that she was incredibly wounded, that she suffered, she was very emotional. But the only way that she was thinking to bring me up is to make me very hardcore. And actually by making me independent and making me very like a soldier-like. But at the same time, while she was doing this, she made me emotionally very, very damaged. So it took me a long time through my work and through everything I'm doing now to heal. And now I kind of find the balance, but it's about time. Actually very grateful now. But before I was not. I was rebellion, I was hating everything. But now, to have a very strong, discipline and willpower is essential for the kind of work I'm doing. I could not do without this at all. It would be impossible, So that's what I have, that's my real strengths. And that I learned from very, very early childhood. There's nothing to do with masochism because first masochism, if you're a masochist, then you do this in real life. I never do anything like this in my real life. I only do it in performance because I'm staging difficult moments and staging pain and using public energy to go through this because I want to be example. If I can do this with my life and have courage to deal with difficulties, then the audience can also have courage to do it. But this is the only reason, but not in real life. I'm definitely not interested in masochism at all. I love life too much. I don't see that way. For me, always the last one is the most difficult. It requires everything from you, But the moment you finish it and you succeeded, oh my God, that's the happiest moments in my life. Then I just want ice cream, which I like the most cafe with the coffee taste and caramel.